my cycle fell apart after I stopped taking the pill, and this is why I would do it all over again. So I hear many women in this like dilemma where we're like, okay, I don't know if birth control is the best for me and I want it anymore, but it is so convenient. It helped me so much with regulating my period symptoms and everything that was going on. So yeah, I don't know if stopping it is actually nice, but like, yeah, I'm going to tell you a bit of my story within this, because I think it is really interesting. Because the moment I stopped taking birth control, I was really like, who am I? I think that is the best way to describe it. Like, I took the hormonal birth control pill at, I think, maybe a couple months even after I started my first period. This was around I was 14. So, yeah, like my teenage years were fully on hormonal birth control. The moment I started taking my hormonal birth control pill was not the moment that my hormones were fully developed. So we need a couple years for that as little girls that start menstruating. Well, we're not so little anymore. Teenage girls who start menstruating. We need a couple years to actually develop to a normal hormonal balance. And my body never had the chance to get there. And I'm pretty sure of like maybe 80% of women never have the chance to get there, because we start taking hormonal contraception in such an early age. So I quit birth control, the hormonal birth control, around I was 2021, I would say. So that's almost, is it that long ago? That's crazy. I'm 30 now. I was just having a moment with myself. I'm like, is it that long ago? But I feel like it was definitely in the beginning of my 20s. And I definitely was like either 20, 21, or 22. Doesn't matter. So a while ago, I stopped taking hormonal birth control. And I was really like, okay, what is happening in my body? What is happening? Like I was doing quite great, but there were already like starting to be some symptoms in my body. I was really having a lot of bloating going on in my body. I was always like a bit nauseous, like my gut wasn't strong. And I was really like at the point that I didn't want hormonal birth control anymore. And yeah, one of the stupid funny reasons behind it was there was lactose in hormonal birth control, and I was having like a quite big intolerance for lactose at the moment. So I stopped taking the birth control pill because of that in the first place, which is really funny. And then I dived deep in the hormone free natural world. And like that was such a crazy opening. Yeah, it was opening up my eyes of like, wow. I was thinking, I was always so stressed, like, what if I am pregnant? I don't want to be pregnant now. And there was a period after I stopped taking birth control where I was stopping. Yeah, I was literally just having sex with condoms. I was just That was just my way of protecting myself, and that worked for a while. But like I was tracking my cycle in this app, like it's just on your iPhone, right, where you just see like, okay, yeah, this is my period and this is my ovulation. And I knew it was a bit like random, but it helped me knowing when my period would come, and I like that. And then I started looking at it and I was like, your fertile window, what does that mean, right? Yeah, you're fertile right now. I'm like, am I not always fertile? And that was the moment I was like, oh wow. So we're taking birth control every day throughout the month, but like we're not fertile the whole month. How does that work? And I dove deep in that rabbit hole. I learned myself everything about tracking your cycle naturally, and yeah, taking care of that fertility, like it is called, like yeah, your symptosomatic yeah, tracking. So you look at your temperature, you look at your cervix, like it can be higher and lower. Like, this is how amazing our female bodies are. Just a side note. And our mucus also changes throughout your cycle, and it shows you when your fertile window is. Amazing. Different topic, very cool. But like, the point where I was going is like, okay, so I started diving in all these hormone free in that hormone free life. But what came with that was hormones, because the pill just flattens everything out. And I was at that point, I was doing everything right. I was having a great life, I thought. I was eating super healthy. I was working out. I was like, if I looked in the mirror, I was fit. I didn't always see that myself, but trust me, I was fit. I was doing CrossFit 5 times a week. I was really, really that hashtag fit girl. It was the fit girl era, and I was her. So that was my whole identity as well. And that started changing because the hormones did something to me that I didn't feel yet. I was like suddenly having these emotions, like the ups and the downs, and the downs were really like intense. And yeah, actually, the moment that I stopped taking the birth control, like PMS came into my sight, and I was like, what is this? Like, I always was super steady, super happy, super fine, but like now there were all these ups and downs. And the thing is, like, most people would think like, oh my god, I stopped the pill and this is happening, I just go back on the pill. Well, I can tell you that I am not that person. I am more the person like, oh, what's happening here? That's interesting. Let's dive into that. And that's what I did. So I started diving in like the hormones, the cycle, and everything, what it means to be a woman. And everything we have been told wrong, actually, till up this point where there was zero awareness actually about how the female body works. Like, don't get me wrong, but like, women only started being included in studies since like the 1960s. Like, what? Like, there's so much more about, like, especially modern medicine and women that hasn't evolved. And like, I love diving into this because I was again doing everything right, and maybe you recognize yourself in this, where you're like, okay, but I'm doing all the things, I'm having a routine, I'm trying to stick up with the routine, but often like life is so busy, and oh yeah, I have to do things, I have a laundry to do, I have the groceries to do, I need to go to my work, I need to work out. Like, yeah, like, it is much, but I'm trying my best, and I'm really, really having control over it. And yeah, I'm doing good. So that was where I was, but my cycle was definitely communicating a totally different story. And that story was, I'm not happy. My uterus was not happy. I was intense cramp. I had intense cramping on day like 1 and 2 of my periods. And I mean intense cramping, laying on the floor crying, till someone handed me over like what is it called? I don't use it anymore, so I don't even know what it's called anymore. Oh my god, my head is a drain. I'm ovulating right now. Well, we call it a leave in the Netherlands. And yeah, it is like, wow, anti-inflammation. Okay, thanks. Yeah, we know where we're going. So that was, I was taking that, and yeah, that was the only thing that was helping. So that was one of the things. Again, the PMS, the week before my period started, was already like a mess. Like, I was so grumpy, I was so triggered by everything, I was angry, I was everything. Like, even at my work, my boss called me in and be like, hey, what is going on? Like, I think we have to work on this, because I'm not, I don't think this is gonna work. And I felt so much shame as well around what was happening in my body and my emotions, and I couldn't control it. And oh, I was really exploding. So yeah, there was a lot going on, and every week. Let's say it was a week during the month that I was like, see, I'm doing great. See, it's working. I've been changing things. I've been trying things. I take this new supplements, and I'm just creating even more restrictions in my nutrition because I read that is working, and now I'm gonna be good. Now I'm gonna be great. But the thing was, is like, funny enough, I was really helping my body in some points. So don't get me wrong, definitely looking into your nutrition and adding some supplements can help, but the foundation on what we build that matters most. And let that sink in, because I was, again, like, adding things to a nervous system that was really not grounded. And I thought that was normal. That is the most deceiving part of it all. I thought this was normal, but it isn't. I wasn't nor I was not used to feeling grounded and at peace and knowing what really feels good, and that's sometimes so hard to explain if you're not there yet. But let me tell you, all those jittery, anxious, uh, anger, emotional ups and downs, energy crashes, whatever you're noticing in your body shouldn't be there. That are signals. And that's, again, where I started my story. This is exactly why I'm so grateful I stopped taking hormonal birth control, and those complaints came up, and I started listening to my body for the first time in my life. And I was just living in my head. I was just living in my head, and I was making the changes from my head, just doing more, adding another protocol, being more strict in my nutrition, just trying another workout schedule. Yeah, just to manage it all, to manage my body, manage my system. Manage my system. But like, the thing I didn't know back then is that my body didn't want to be managed. It want to be felt. It want to be held. It want to be loved. And if we're still doing all these optimization things from a place of like fixing, you're gonna be in an endless hamster wheel, and it is almost impossible to get there out yourself. I had people who really mirrored me and helped me a lot with seeing, like, this is exactly the point where you're working against yourself instead of with yourself. So if you every month you wake up and you're like, oh yeah, my menstrual cycle is coming, or my period is coming again, and you're still hating it, you're dreading your cycle, you're dreading every symptom that is coming with it, and you just hope it is over as soon as possible, you push it away, you go on with it, you just override it. That's exactly the problem. And then in the meantime, you try all those protocols, you try all these things, all these supplements to save it, but at the point that it is there, you hate it. So that is not aligned. That is not helping yourself, supporting your system. That is really like working against yourself. So years of overriding myself, my body, being tired. There was tension everywhere. I just wasn't feeling it. I was living in my head, not connected to my body. And the pill flattens out all that noise. And you don't know actually what is real and what's not. So coming off didn't create chaos. It removed the thing that had been muting it. That is very important. So if you're still on hormonal birth control, there could be something laying underneath. And I don't want to scare you with this. And it's not that it's like this bad thing, la, 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 but it's more what I see is I know that many, many women have this desire to get pregnant once in their life, twice in their life, maybe more. And if you stop taking the birth control just before you want to get pregnant, then you might stumble upon yourself in that period. Just before you try to get pregnant, which can be harder, during your pregnancy, and even as a mother after. And this is so, so, so important. Like, it's not only for you anymore, it's also like for the generation that comes after. You can be the literally cycle breaker, and I don't mean cycle as in your period's menstrual cycle right now. I mean the cycle breaker in just not listening to your body and overriding yourself, that pattern. So yeah, it is really important to start looking into this. Like, it is not in if you're experiencing something where you're tired all the time, where you keep overriding yourself, you know what to do, but you don't do it. One of the things I see the most in the women I work with, like, we look at why don't you do it? What is happening there? And this is why it's not only about, oh, I just stopped taking birth control, I balance my hormones and I'm fine. No, there's like patterns underneath this that created that chaos in your body in the first place, and you want to solve that. That's the most easy way I can describe my work and exactly what I do, and exactly what makes the work that we do sustainable, because you work at the root instead of like the symptom. Like, putting only supplements or changing your nutrition is only treating symptoms. It's not going to the roots. You want to do that. You want to support your body, but you do want to know why your body is having those symptoms in the first place. And it can be everything. This can be mental, emotional, physical. Super important. So it's not only, oh yeah, I don't have period cramps, so I don't have anything going on. Probably there's something else going on. It can be whatever. I name something. You want to rest, but you feel guilty. Or you want to rest, you take rest, and you feel super ungrounded resting. You want to do more. Your brain starts going in circles, like everything you have to do and everything you haven't done yet. Things like that. You want to say no to someone, but you say yes. Like, these are more like the evolved patterns that we dive into. And yeah, the symptoms that show that are often cycle problems. Like, our cycle is our compass. It's so full of wisdom. But it can also be your guts, it can be your skin, it can be your hair, your nails, it can be everything. Like the anxious feeling in your chest, that's where I didn't even go with this episode, and I'm not gonna go there today. But like, that was a whole other chapter where my cycle was calming down, but my body was not calming down in other places. So first I had my gut problems, then I had my cycle problems, and then I started having like anxiety problems. And that was the moment, that was my breakthrough of like, there's much more going on than just nutrition and stuff here. And that's where I actually started solving the root. And that's how I feel like the rooted woman myself now. I feel grounded. I feel powerful. I feel magnetic, sensual, intuitive, everything that we should feel as a woman. And that's what's possible for you as well, of course. Yeah, so start trusting your body over your head. Maybe that's the most complete thing I can say right now. Because what I changed wasn't that I fixed my cycle. It is that I stopped needing to fix myself to trust what I was feeling underneath. So everything that I did from my head, I put that aside. The control patterns, everything that, it was definitely not an easy process and not a quick process. I don't do quick fixes, quick tips, everything like that. That doesn't work. Trust me, I've been there. And I started looking in the depths of it. How do I trust myself? How do I trust my body? How do I trust life again? Why I finally can relax my nervous system. And that is the episode today. So yeah, if your cycle feels like chaos, consider it might be the first honest thing your body has said in a while, instead of something freaking annoying. So maybe for now, notice one moment today your body says no and your head overrides it anyway. Because that is really like important to start following, to start taking serious. It can be anything. So just see what is your signal. What is your body? How is your body communicating with you? And how are you gonna listen to that? If you're at the point like, I know all these signs, I know all these signals, but I still don't do it, I still can't break it, it's exactly a moment where women also work with me, where we look at in depth for like, why is this happening all the time? And it's definitely easy to break through that. So yeah, take a look in the show notes. You can always find me there. Let's have a chat. You can always DM me Rooted to see how we can dive deeper in this, to tell me your story and wherever you struggle with. You don't have to do this alone. That's what we often think. You need to do it yourself. You need to try it. You don't, it is not, you're not worthy enough to invest in yourself. But that's all freaking bullshit. You are deserving the best of the best. So just start giving that to yourself, babe. All right. See you later.